My name is Samantha Gash. I'm 30 years of age from Melbourne, Australia, and I'm an ultramarathon runner. After I completed my first marathon, I signed up for my first ultramarathon in 2010. To run an ultramarathon means you're going anywhere over the marathon distance, which is 42.2 kilometres. When I started to run, it was about pushing myself. It was for me, and that was it. I was doing these massive races, and in my first race, I ended up breaking a record, which was to become the first woman and the youngest person at the time to complete the 4 Deserts Grand Slam. These were 4 250-kilometre desert ultramarathons held in the driest, windiest, hottest and coldest deserts on Earth. People talk about hitting this wall when they're running. When you're doing a marathon, you might hit the wall once, maybe even twice. But when you're running back-to-back marathons or you're running for 60 hours straight, it feels like there's walls all around you. You knock one down and then there's another one straight away.
You did really good, guys.
I don't feel very good.
Hitting the wall is both a physical and mental thing. On a physical level, it's like your entire body feels like lead. It starts from your feet to your calves, to your quads, to your core, and all of a sudden it goes to your head. You go from thinking that nothing is going to stop you from getting to the finishing line to thinking it's impossible to even take that next step. Your mind starts to frantically search for a reason to legitimise that feeling of discomfort. All you want to do is step away from that and quit. If you can find some reason to get yourself out of that thinking and to take those next few steps, when you cross that finishing line, it's one of the most incredible feelings you can ever experience. The next race I signed up to do was in Leh Ladakh, India. It was the highest ultramarathon on Earth, and it was 222 kilometres in distance, but this time you had to run it non-stop. And many people described it as the world's cruelest ultramarathon. 3/4 into that race, I hit the wall in a big way. Even though I had run so far in such extreme conditions, I didn't think it was possible that I could go further. I'm still not sure how I did it, but somehow I got to the finishing line. And in the weeks that passed, I started to realise that I couldn't keep pushing myself in this type of way if it was purely for myself. But the thing was, I still loved to run. Over the next couple of years, I moved away from the idea of being a competitive runner, and I started to run for causes that meant something to me. I'm someone that always reflects deeply on the things that I've done in the past. I couldn't stop thinking about India. India was the place that changed why I chose to run, and it was also the most fascinating place that I've ever been to. Its landscape, but also for the diversity of its people. So I decided to connect out with World Vision Australia. Over the next 2 years, they exposed me to their programs throughout India, specifically those related to access to education programs, looking at why females might not go to school. My initial thoughts is that I would run from the west to the east. But after working with World Vision, I thought that the route could be guided by the places that World Vision work in. And for someone to choose to run from the west to the east and make sense of it to why they're choosing to do it, we wanted there to be a mission behind it. Run India is pretty much an analysis of the different barriers to education that children across India face, and looking at how different climate, geography, culture, language can all play such a role in what a barrier might be in a particular area. We're about to head to the start line, which is about a couple of minutes away. In some respects, I feel like we're really prepared and like it's just time to go, but you know, in other aspects I'm already really tired and haven't even started. But like right now, I'm just feeling quite focused and ready to start. Like I know this is gonna be very hard today, and I just accepted that. So I'm just about to start. I think I just have to get going. I'm really nervous. Bye. Half 40 k's in, day one. It's about managing the heat and not kind of crossing over to the red line and then making the next couple of days really hard. So I've come in here every initially didn't come into the camper van till 21 k's, and then I've been doing it every 10k, and now for the last 15, every 5k, I'm just going to pop in here for 5 minutes, cool down. It's hot, but it's manageable if you do the right stuff. It's hard to begin with in the morning. Things that you can normally process or work through just become overwhelming. But, yeah. I don't feel good. I probably won't feel good 85% of this journey. We have about 25-ish k to go for the day, and then we head into a community, which at the beginning of the day I was like, how am I going to possibly be able to engage in a community feeling as awful as I'm feeling right now? And now I'm like, just get me to the community, that's what I want to see. So it does impact recovery time, but I think being able to break from the momentum of the run and this bubble we have, which so far has been the run because we've had no community visit, is a really healthy thing for myself and the entire crew to experience. This is day 3 into my 77-day run across India. The reason why I'm running across India is because I believe that every child should be able to be educated. We're in Burma. This is a desert community. And the path just here is the path that the kids take when they go to school, and it's roughly 5 kilometres there and 5 kilometres back. It's so hot right now, and it's really unbearable for me to even walk, and this is nowhere near the maximum temperature that they get here. So it really puts in perspective how much kids here want to be educated and what they're willing to do in order to be able to get it. So I think we're really fortunate to have been able to see this. Doing a little recovery on my body to prep it for tomorrow. This is my Compex device. It's basically an electric pulse device. Each of these separately identify the tightness in that area, and it builds up the intensity to where the muscle needs to contract. Knee's still a little bit sore. A bit nervous about how that's going to keep pulling up, but I suppose I just have to keep treating it every night and trying this heel lift thing right now. So yeah, I'm not too worried because I feel like I've gone already through a bit of decent pain and kind of pushed through it, so just have to kind of keep trying ways to keep on top of it, and yeah.
Show her. Yeah, this is just, it's intense, but it's actually becoming a little bit normal. And I'm saying that only 7 days in, so yeah, I'm managing to turn off a lot of the sounds while still being like alert to the fact that I could get run over, you know? Yeah. Andy, absolute trooper, smashing it after just flying in and doing an 8-hour road trip to see us last night. How you feeling, Kenny?
Feeling pretty good. The heat's certainly got to me a little bit, but enjoying it and glad to be here.
Just today, I haven't felt it before in other days, but my heart feels really tired today, just like fatigued.
As far as we can understand from our limited testing we've got on the road, basically her heart's a muscle, she has muscles everywhere in her chest and she's overworking them without really resting them enough. So basically it's fatigue at the moment that's causing the pain in her chest. So what we're doing is trying to loosen up her thoracic as much as possible and getting her to do normal twists and movements along the way to see if it can alleviate some of her pain.
Last 3K really hurt. Mainly because I didn't know when we were stopping or what. I really don't do well in the cities. I find it really claustrophobic.
I'm very conscious that it's nearly 6 p.m. and I've got to do this all over again. There's like these little moments and I'm like, holy shit. How am I going to do this? Like, I can't even like verbalize the fact that it's 77 days. It makes me want to vomit at this point.
Doing what she's doing, you just can't explain it. It is tough, so tough on the body. The mental thing is just another level. You have to be so mentally tough to put one foot in front of the other, day after day. I've done it for 8 days and it's been tough. Sam's got another 60 odd days to go.
The pain that this is causing on my body is like pretty significant. Yeah, this is really hard. There's moments of this project where it's really dark and I never think that I don't want to do it. But I definitely wonder how I'm going to do it. People always talk about me being mentally tough. And like technically, I know I'm mentally tough to like even contemplate something like this and to tackle what I've done so far. Just because you're mentally tough doesn't mean like you don't have inner turmoil and you don't doubt yourself and that you don't need support from other people to like get you to take another step. But it just sometimes makes it harder to ask for that support because you think that you're meant to have it completely within your inside yourself to be able to move forward. I start the day with pain. I finish the day and I have more pain. Like, it's just like, it's like never ending. The unpredictability of India really reflects the unpredictability of this run, which does not reflect how Samantha Gash normally likes to operate. But it's also why I do this. Like, I I like to put myself out of my comfort zone, and my comfort zone is knowing what's happening, having a level of certainty, and I don't know why I keep rebelling from what I naturally like. You know, I left my secure job in law to go with what felt right, and what feels right is spending this 3 months in India, having done 2 years of preparation to a point that I thought I had certainty, and then I get here, I'm like, oh my gosh, every day is completely not what I expected it to be. I freak out by it, and then I'm also so excited that I get to be on the edge of the unknown.
Coming from a different country, from a different culture, and not speaking the language, and making all of this happen is not an easy thing. It's mentally exhausting. She can control the pace of her run, she can make sure physically she's fine, but outside the run, India controls everything because it's a chaotic place.
Cities are always very unpredictable. Sometimes I love the intensity of it. Oh shit, and then there's times when I see like a dead animal and I feel sick in the tummy. It's a cow. Far out. Well, everything's really on display when you get to these parts. I don't know, like I feel very on edge today. I feel like the littlest things are kind of like twisting something in my brain that just makes me snap. I hate this side of myself actually when I get there. Today I'm just not handling that sound.
Yeah, so it's been a tough day. I've hardly run, like just 150, 200 metre stretches at best. And my tummy is really bloated and sore. And I think the hotter it gets and the more I'm outside, like the sore and more like bloated the tummy gets. Theoretically, I understood trying to run across India with the extreme heat that I would face would be a huge undertaking. The reality of it is it's harder than I could ever possibly imagine. I'm finding it really hard to get enough fluids in my system, combat like the heat and the fact that I'm running so far every day in that heat. When your body is this dehydrated and you're also going through so much stress, like there gets to be a breaking point where your body just shuts down. I'm really hoping that being able to take on fluid through an IV, my body will start to heal a lot quicker in the rest time that we have. Taking these fluids in should slowly start to help, but I do not expect to be waking up tomorrow morning feeling 100%. Yeah, it's been a rough 12 hours, 10 hours. I have no idea how I'm going to get through today. I feel like I'm cooking on the inside. People would normally be in bed after what I went through last night, not going out for another 60k.
got my period this morning. I always seem to get it on significant moments, so I got it on my birthday. Hormonally and also physically, having your period in these environments, it really does play a bit of a toll. I feel a bit fatigued, my legs are a little bit heavier. I don't know if I can just put it down to that one thing, but let's do that as opposed to me just being tired. I feel really happy that this is how I've chosen to spend my birthday. Like I'm doing the thing that I love to do and that I've been dreaming about for so long and preparing and planning, and I'm running in India. It's such a weird thing to be doing on your birthday. I'll remember it forever.
I definitely am getting into a routine in the morning where I get up at 3:45 and I go to the bathroom and I have diarrhea every single morning. And then it kind of seems to calm down a little bit as the night progresses, or the day progresses. But definitely not the nicest way to wake up. We're living in quite close proximity to everything in this camper van, including our toilet, which is a drop toilet. And as I eat my muesli right now, I can smell my diarrhea.
Okay, we're really excited because our Indian team is making us parathas, and they're like
Aloo parathas.
aloo parathas, sorry.
It's like a party with like
Potato in it.
onion.
You need to look at it, it's delicious, and we don't get it every day, so we're excited. It's a treat.
I've just made it into India Gate. The whole last couple of days, I didn't know that I was going to make it into here because of the security and traffic issues. Even though this is not a record run, the idea that I have to skip sections of the run, for whatever reason, I try and act like it doesn't bother me, but I think it really does bother me in the back of my mind. You create a route and you want to stick to it, and coming into Delhi is such a milestone. Yeah, I feel like I'm on a bit of a high right now, and I felt like I ran really strongly today, but I've got a feeling I'm gonna conk out really quickly now that we've actually made it.
The vehicle's not with us because it can't follow us on these roads, it's too narrow. So we don't have any of our normal supplies and foods that we would have during the day. So I really wanted to stop in one of these places and just have some food. So we're eating some momos.
Everything gets blown out of proportion here. This starts to look like normal when I'm not struggling. It's very easy for people to think that this is really easy to do it. Even the people that are around me 24/7, we forget that it is not normal to be running between 50 to 70 Ks a day. This is not normal, particularly on the highway with this weather, in a place that we're told is not particularly safe. Don't think I'll ever be able to describe to people what it's like to push a body like this off
the little sleep that we have every night. Anyway, I'll be fine. It's not really that hot, it's just fucking hot. I'm tired. Plain and simple, I just feel tired. The temperature has just soared to a really intense period for the run. Consistently, day after day, it's very hot and the humidity is high. And I knew that it was going to be warm going out here, but I don't think I gave credit for how hot it would be and the toll that it would take on my body and also my mind.
Sam's 40-something days into her expedition. She's exhausted. She knows that she's still got 4.5 weeks left. It's a really, really tough time in the expedition, and she just has to keep going. You know, she's chosen to do this, and she's doing it for a cause she's absolutely passionate about, and I don't think she could do it if she didn't have that. She has to do it for something bigger than herself, because how else could she tolerate this?
You know, I prepared for this trip in terms of, researching the challenges that children in India face and their mothers and their fathers. But there's one thing from reading a summary about someone's life and then actually going to that person's home and seeing it face to face.
ये तो सब ऐसे हुए थे, इसके 10 हुए थे पहली बार, 10 थे मतलब बिल्कुल कंडीशन खराब होगी बिल्कुल ये बाकी हालत ही कोई फिर ये को भर्ती रखे 13 दिन 15 दिन तक राजगढ़ 750 ग्राम बस 7 किलो 500 ग्राम.
I find that harder than most things that we'll probably see on this trip. You never want to see a sick baby. It's just, these babies are really small and incredibly young, but it's amazing that they're able to get, care free of charge. That's kind of addressing on a holistic level, their not just medical response, but also the nutrition that they're getting in as well. So, it really kind of gets you seeing this stuff. But we're lucky to be able to see it.
परिस्थिति थी रहने के लिए मतलब हम एक टाइम तो खाना खाया बच्चे के पास पड़े रहे दोनों घर के भूखे तसाए पूरी तरीके से मतलब बहुत कड़े दिन निकाले मतलब 15 दिन. सब समस्या अभी इसके 10 चल रहे हैं बहुत तेज वापस उसी तरीके से.
Okay. Now also sometimes he is
और
having
ये
diarrhea sometimes.
बिल्कुल खाबा भी कम कर दी रहे हार की बिल्कुल वो हो गई डाउन हो गई.
In 2012, a female Indian student boarded a bus in South Delhi and was raped by a group of young men, and she lost her life quite tragically. This incident was reported globally. It raised attention to the issues of personal safety and protection for young females and women throughout India. Coming out of that situation, girls within this slum that we're about to visit in Delhi decided to connect with the Delhi police and learn self-defence. These young women wanted to feel empowered, confident and strong when they walked the streets of their neighbourhood so they could go to school. What started as an initiative of a small group has become into a really large movement. These girls who initially learned how to have self-defence by these police are now teaching those skills to other girls within their communities, but also in neighbourhood towns. Meeting these girls and seeing them confidently show strength, but also verbalise their empowerment has actually been incredibly empowering for myself. I've come from feeling very injured and feeling vulnerable about my ability to move forward, and I can confidently say that I now feel that I can keep moving forward throughout this run. I've just met a girl who's 21 years of age. Her name's Deepika, and when she was younger, she had to leave school because of family reasons. Once World Vision came into this community, they tried to encourage her that it would be a really great idea for her to go back to school. And she went to school after school after school in the community, and all of them rejected her application to come back into school because there was too much of a gap. And so World Vision then did that same process of going with her to each of those schools, and finally she was allowed to go back into school after passing an entrance test. And now she's completed with her two younger sisters 12th grade, and she's hoping in the following year she'll be able to go and do more studies in nursing. So we've just come and looked at this toilet that's been built by World Vision India a couple of years ago now, and you know, definitely on my journeys I've seen a lot of open defecation in the fields and even on the roads, children and, you know, grown adults, which, you know, has obviously leads to a lot of illness and disease. But in this rural community, if they didn't have this toilet here, they have to take quite a long journey down some steep steps. And I can only imagine what that would be like in the middle of the night, in the dark, to try and get down there to go to the bathroom. So on a safety level, and also, you know, they told me about their concern with snakes and other animals biting them when they go to the bathroom. So this, I can imagine, would have changed many things for them and made life a lot easier. So it's really great to be able to see this. This used to be an area where open defecation was a massive problem. World Vision has been working in Bali for 15 years. They have funding in this community till 2020. This community can now celebrate the fact that they are now open defecation free. Each home within this village has a toilet, as you can see here. Within the schools and also on the walls of all the toilets is education on how to, on sanitation care. So it's a combined approach of providing a resource and providing the education to make a huge difference in this area to keep the kids disease-free, as well as reminding them the importance of going to school and being able to go to school as well because they're healthy enough to be able to go. This is amazing. It's great to be able to see such a tangible difference done in this community. We just met the most amazing group of women. A group of women from this community where some of their significant problems are around alcoholism, are around the lack of cleanliness within the community, which leads to other types of diseases, obviously poverty and access to education. Now there's this little boy who his mother passed away and his father lives and works in Mumbai. Now there was no money. The girls in this community noticed that he wasn't going to school, and one of the girls decided to take it on her own initiative to educate him with the support of all the other women around her. So I see this here and I'm like, this boy is going to go into the world thinking so positively and strongly of women, and it's because these women have taken the stance to educate him. I definitely feel inspired by meeting these people, and these are the things that spur me to run and to take the time. You know, it's so easy to get into your world of running or whatever you're doing in your life, and it's these types of things that make you think, like, if I can just do something small for someone else, like what could potentially happen to their life and also to the lives of other people around them. It's easy when you're running to sometimes get lost in the world of the run, and that opportunity to be able to go to those communities and keep connected to why I'm doing this has been pretty much the major source of why I've been able to keep moving forward. There's been so many reasons that would have told my body to stop doing what I'm doing, but when I've met different community groups, different children, different women particularly, doing things that are powerful and sustaining for their community, it puts it in perspective that moving one step in front of the other is actually a really simple thing to do.
We did 15k, 5:30 Ks. That's quick. How can she run that quick after 2,100 kilometres? Oh, I'm struggling.
I am overwhelmingly, blissfully delighted to be here. We've had so much flat terrain this entire run besides a couple of points, and today it's just all uphill, and I feel
My legs feel stronger. I feel more adventurous. I just went like off route and like climbed up a waterfall, which maybe isn't the best thing for my legs at this point, but it felt so good to just kind of go off the path and try and explore a little bit off, you know, the road that I know that I'm meant to go on. So yeah, I'm so happy I could cry. I'm just really, really happy to be reaching the mountains. So I'm just going to make the most of every moment of like delight right now. It's been a very testing 24 hours on the body and the mind. You know, part of me thinks it's because I'm getting so close to the end and I'm starting to think about the end, but still so far to go, you know, over 270 kilometres in 5 days. Yeah, but this is the furthest I've ever gone, furthest I'll ever go, I imagine.
But I think I'm really aware now that I'm so close to the end that at the end of the day it's me moving me forward. And people can say whatever they want to say and they can support me in whatever way they want to, and it does assist, but if I don't make the mental decision to move my feet forward, then the team doesn't move forward. And I think my mind is getting a lot stronger with keeping calm and rationalising the discomfort that I'm experiencing.
Got about 12k to the finish. Oh, this day has just been so many different emotions. And I was wondering for so long why I didn't know how I felt, or I couldn't articulate it, or even like, did I feel anything? And just for so long I've had this like armour on of toughness to be able to deal with how freaking hard this has been. So hard. And now that I'm so close to the end, I'm able to start like removing some of those layers and reflect in what this experience has been. So yeah, you know, 13k to go. Can't lose my shit yet.
This project, you know, there's obviously a personal element to this. Like, there's a personal element of like, I just want to learn so much more about the way that other people live. These are actually the most resilient people I've ever met. Like, people talk about me being resilient, that I can run every day for 77 days feeling the way that I do. I have a lot of certainty around my unpredictability, and these people don't have that. And you can't help but being incredibly amazed and proud to be able to be connected to that.